Hi, my name is Kate McMahon, and I'm your host today for Profile. Very excited to introduce our guest today, Kevin Gretton. Kevin, welcome. Glad
Thank
to
you.
have you here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you inviting me.
Yes, Kevin is the district executive for Cape Cod and Islands Council of Scouting America. Now, I am going to date myself, age myself, but I remember it back in the day as the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts.
Yep. Yeah, we recently changed in the last couple of years because now the Boy Scouts include girls, so they didn't want to. They wanted to change the marketing. It doesn't sound right if it's Boy Scouts when there's a bunch of girls running around with us. So
There you go.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this position is a real fit for you based on how you've spent some of your time during your life.
Yeah. So I first was a Cub Scout at age 7, like most kids my age, and ran all the way up through the ranks to Eagle. I made Eagle at 16.
Oh, wow.
And then I sort of, fell out of Scouts as a lot of teenagers do. We always warn our kids the things that are going to get in the way are cars and jobs and sports and girls and, but I got back into it when my son was born. He got into Cub Scouts, and ever since I've been a leader. I've been I'm an assistant scoutmaster at a troop off the Cape. Obviously the district executive for this entire council. I also am involved in the fraternal organization called the Order of the Arrow.
Okay.
So at 50, I went out and did my second level of Order of the Arrow. There's 3 levels.
Okay.
So I was the guy who running the program that weekend said, "I'm really impressed by you." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because you're out here doing it and you're running circles around the kids." And I'm like, "I'm trying to show them that A, you can still do it, but B, you shouldn't wait 35 years to progress on in the ranks." But so yeah, it was a good time. But then the nice part is my son was going that weekend to do his first stage. They call it an ordeal. So he did the ordeal. And then I did what they call brotherhood, and I got to sash him. You wear a sash to show
yeah.
your level. So I got to sash him, and then about 2 weeks ago, we just went again, and I worked staff, and he got his brotherhood, and I got to sash him again. So it's really become a father-son, activity our entire life.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
That's wonderful.
So, yeah.
So you're going to bring a ton of experience to the Cape and the islands.
Hope to, yeah.
Yeah, with the history you've had with
Yeah.
scouting.
Yeah.
So I bet you've got some great ideas that you want to bring here, as well as some things that happen pretty regularly with scouting.
Yeah, one of the first things I said to my boss when I started, I said, "You guys don't have a national historical trail?" And she says, "No, nobody ever really established one." And I'm like, "That's kind of crazy because you have such great history here. I mean, all the way from not only Provincetown with the Pilgrims, but
Yeah.
Marconi Station, which is really important to the early, from the early stages of the country and this whole business, to the other end of the island. You've got Mashpee, where the Wampanoag,
Yes.
are station based,
Yes.
And I said, so you've got, the original clan of American Indians, you've got Marconi, you've got all these things in between, all the seafaring history, the Whydah, and you can connect that and make it into a hiking trail so the kids go out and experience all these things. And the point of a trail is that, there's a patch, and that's really what the kids go for. They love,
love that.
patches and medals.
Yeah.
But as they're going along, they have to answer questions about the things that they see and the markers that they run into that show the historical data on that trail. So I'm trying to put that together. A lot of what I'm trying to do too, because of the new focus of Scouting America, is to try to build the girls, the female side of the trail.
Okay.
We've got 4 troops now established. There's a lot though in Cub Scouts. So when they start to grow up and get out of Cub Scouts, they need places to go. So we're trying to work on more girl troops, and so I'm trying to actually establish one back at my hometown off Cape.
Oh.
So yeah.
Good.
So,
Well, you've got a lot to do.
Yeah.
Very busy. And then I think camp is another annual.
Camp's right around the
event.
corner. We have a 5-week day camp that we're trying to get together right now. So we're trying to put all that together, looking for counselors, always looking for kids to work. So it's a good opportunity for the kids if they want to come, and we pay pretty well for a camp. It's not like when I was a kid, I got $100 for the entire summer as a CIT back in, a long time ago.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right.
Right?
So yeah.
And then I forget what I bought the popcorn, but I
Yeah.
forget what time of year that fundraiser is.
It'll start in August, sort of right at the end of summer camp.
Okay.
And it runs through, I think, November, early November. And that's really our big push fundraiser for the year, is selling popcorn. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're talking about the various merit badges
Yes.
that the students can earn.
Yep.
Do they get to choose what they want to work on? Are there established ones, or are they able to create one specifically for their troop?
So there's two sets of merit badges. There's Eagle required, and they're actually, if you look on our chart, there's 142, I think, merit badges that are going to. There's a couple that are in beta test.
Okay.
So they're not actually offered now. There's 138 that are currently out there, but there's a couple more coming, including auctioneering. I thought that was an interesting one. And one I'm excited about for a weird reason. It's called life skills.
Okay.
And one of the requirements is that the kids have to sew a patch on their own uniform.
I love it.
I love it too, because for years I've been doing all my own patches and sewing my sons on, and I see kids and I'm like, why didn't you sew? Oh, my mom hasn't gotten around. Why is your mom doing it? You should do it. And then no. And so now they're going to be required to do their own patches. But yeah, there's 138 merit badges, and it's basically what I tell the kids is anything you want to do in life, be a career or a hobby, there's a merit badge for it. And I always tell them that everything you do in life, stop and think, does that fulfill a requirement? Because I guarantee you it almost always does somewhere.
Got it.
Spending money, there's a personal management merit badge. Going on a vacation, there's a family life merit badge. So there's, all these activities somewhere count towards some badge, some requirement,
kind of badge.
But yeah, there's 22 merit badges that if you're going to get Eagle that you have to get. Camping and cooking and family life and emergency preparedness and personal fitness, just some of the ones. And then there's electives, and that's what all the rest of them are. It's just the electives that you can choose whatever you want. You find somebody, some adult who's an expert in that area. I'm signed up for about 12 different merit badges that I can teach. And then they can, meet with that person in a group and get the badges, And then we, of course, do a lot at summer camp. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
I
fun.
love that, the way you stated it, where just about anything in life can be related to a merit badge.
Yeah, everything from law to metalworking to aquatics badge. There's about 15 different ones for the different types of watercraft that you can, do. So yeah, there's shooting sports. There's geocaching. There's pet care. And you name it. There's a badge out there for it. Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
Now, my son is long gone and not at the age where looking at activities to do.
Yeah.
But kids seem to be so busy nowadays with sports and other activities.
Yeah.
How would we have families figure out how to add scouting to their weekly
Yeah, that's a great
activities?
question. So that's actually going on one of my campaigns, is that to sort of realign parents thinking about scouts.
Okay.
Because for years I've heard, I was a scout and then I got into sports, and then they don't get their own children into sports. That's talking with the parents. They don't get their children because their kids are busy with baseball and soccer, and they're all wonderful things to do, swimming, dance, but you can integrate scouts with those other activities, and I tell parents that all the time, that you can, the troops and the packs will work around your schedule. Like they'll be meeting at certain times.
Sure.
But we have kids in my troop back home that we won't see them for 4 months because they're off doing ice hockey. Well, then when they're back, then we catch them up. We get them up to speed, and they get engaged with the group, and it's like they never left.
That's great.
But the one thing I like about scouts is that, and the thing I always found with my son is that instead of going to, like when I would go with him to baseball, I'd stand on the sideline and watch him play baseball.
Sure.
With scouts, I'm right next to him doing all the stuff. I'm tying knots. I'm learning to build fires. I'm learning to set up a camp. I'm going hiking with him, whatever it be. But I'm right there with him, doing it.
So more family time.
It's
too.
definitely more family time. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Which is absolutely
Right.
It's wonderful.
It's building those memories that you're always going to have, with your kids,
Yeah.
Because I'm about to. You say your son's off and gone. Mine's 17. So if I was to tell my wife, in a year we're going to lose him, because he's going to be off doing his own thing. So I'm getting every moment I possibly can right now, So
Yeah, it's important.
Yes.
It's very important to launch them.
Yes.
And
Absolutely. Yeah.
one of my son's dear buddies in high school was an Eagle Scout.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you say it in the past tense, or is
No.
he still an
I
Eagle
always used to
Scout?
do that too. I always used to say, I was an Eagle Scout, and people are like, no, you are an Eagle Scout. You
Eagle
never
Scout.
lose that. It's like being, it's not the same comparison, but like being a vet.
Yeah.
you are always that thing, you know.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but,
still put it on my resume, even if I hadn't applied for a scout job.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just always put it at the bottom because
Yeah.
you never know. Somebody will say, "Oh, I was an Eagle," or "I knew an Eagle," or "My kid is," or whatever.
Yeah.
It starts a conversation, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah.
Yeah, and the project that Sean did was wonderful.
Okay.
And the number of people he had to gather to actually
Yeah.
finish it, and it was fun to watch.
What did he do? I'm just curious.
There was a pond
Okay.
that needed adjustments in the river
Okay.
that was coming into it,
Okay.
so that the fish could make it
Oh, okay.
over.
Yeah, nice.
It wasn't really a dam.
Right, but some
But,
kind of
yeah,
impediment.
And, and it had pretty much had deteriorated.
I mean, there's a perfect example. So he probably had to go to the local town and get approvals.
Yes,
and
exactly.
There were, town's engineers involved, and
Yeah.
then the local community hears about it, the local church, and so everybody joins together to help fix this thing that's wrong,
Exactly.
or make an improvement somewhere.
Yeah.
And so it really is a neat. And then you hope that the kids take that lesson and continue on in life, and they're still at our age, my age, still going out and doing those things. I mean,
Right,
If you
right.
look at my calendar, every weekend we're probably at least one day doing some kind of community service
Yeah.
somewhere. I mean, I know this weekend we're actually going to a neighboring town back home because they've lost their scout troop.
Oh.
And they called us out of the blue and said, "Would you guys mind come over to the Council on Aging and doing some?" No, sure.
Oh,
Just like a couple hours worth of work, but whatever we can do to help, why not?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
last week when we were in a different town that also same situation lost, and we were cleaning up one of their cemeteries.
wow.
And then we've been invited back because they're going to dedicate it either end of this year or next year as a Revolutionary War cemetery because there's 20 soldiers buried in there.
Wow.
And so they've asked us to come and do the colors, and one of the kids is going to give the benediction, and it's really a nice honor to be asked to do
That's
that. So
great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So
Well, I'd love to see your enthusiasm,
Oh, I love it, yeah.
and welcome to the Cape.
thank you. Yeah, I love it out here.
Yeah, you've got quite the list
Yeah.
of things to do, and I just love the plan that you have in place to help engage more of our kids here on the Cape. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you. And this helps. I mean, this, getting the word out about the
Yeah.
program, So,
Yeah, it's important.
you know.
Is there anything else that you want to mention before we wrap?
I think we did talk even about using your facility. The kids can use that. There's
Yes.
things called explorer posts,
Okay.
which is something sort of like an off branch of scouting.
Okay.
So what those are set up for is to specifically get older kids, not younger. It's usually 14 and older.
Yes.
Into career oriented programs.
Okay.
So you have this wonderful facility here with the podcasting
Yeah.
studio and the radio and the TV. They could come over here and learn editing and sound and
Yeah.
production and
Absolutely.
script writing and all those
Yeah.
things.
Let's
And-
talk more about that.
Right, and so there's one down a couple towns over there. They're affiliated with the police officers.
Oh.
So they're learning about law enforcement, but specifically just that. They're not really interested in working on the badges and camping, and that's fine. But
okay.
it's just there's another great program that we have, So
great.
there's another one called Venturing, which is, again, older kids, but they are interested in doing what we call more adventurous activities. So a lot of
Okay.
them go climbing and whitewater rafting and
Okay.
scuba diving and high adventure is what I was thinking of. They call it these high adventure camps that
Okay.
we have, or things like that. So their lesson, they've done the cubs and the smaller things, and they want to take it to the next level. So
Love that.
so we have all these different programs that appeal to all different kinds of kids. So
That's wonderful.
so yeah.
Well, thanks again for
Well,
being
thank you.
here
I really
today.
appreciate it. Yeah, it was nice.
And
Nice.
look forward to having some of the scouts here at the Media
Oh,
Center.
sure. Yeah.
Take
yeah.
the classes, work with Jamie.
Yes.
It'll be fun.
Yes, I would look for that too. That'd be great. Yeah.
Let's make that happen.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Kate McMahon, and this is Profile.